Hey everybody, it is Trey Bolin, the host of Origin Stories, and I'm here with my friend Bill from Cowdin Design and Build, and he's going to share a little bit about his origin stories, how he got started, the things that transpired all the way. So I'm going to let you take it from here, Bill.
Well, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it, Trey. It's nice to be here. So, my story started back when I was in seventh grade, and they made us do exploratory classes in middle school. And one of the ones I took was an architecture class. And right off the get go, I just enjoyed drawing lines and windows, and I was all about symmetry. And I made an agreement with my band teacher that if I drew her dream house, that she would do some sort of transposition of a song I wanted that was in, I believe it was flute to trumpet. And from there, I was drawing houses for people just for fun. So fast forward from there, I thought I wanted to be an architect. And
yeah, that makes sense. You were drawing.
I was drawing and I was having a really good time with it. So, junior, senior year of high school, I'm, interviewing different schools to potentially be an architect, and was kind of just a little disenchanted with what that trajectory was from who I was talking to, because they said, hey, you're going to go ahead and, learn how to draw these really cool high rises in somewhere in Asia that will never be built. And it's like, oh, I wanted to be Frank Lloyd Wright. How do I get to be Frank Lloyd Wright? And like, no, you don't get to be Frank Lloyd Wright. Go do something else.
So that's really disheartening.
It was. And it's just, I wish I would have talked to a different recruiter, because I probably would have become an architect. So it's a career that I crazy respect. And this is about as close as to an architect as I'm going to get. And honestly, I think it's a little bit better because we get to do both the design and the build. So
nice.
I guess I kind of lucked out. So it put me down the path of going to business school. So I got a degree in finance and marketing and accounting, just all sorts of business degrees from Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. And then I started working for a company who did financing for chain restaurants, for doing renovations and new construction of their buildings. And what I enjoyed the most was looking at the site plans, going to the jobs and realizing that, hey, I don't want to be pushing numbers on a spreadsheet. I want to be somehow doing building. So I was only there for 3 or 4 months before I started looking for a new job. And
that didn't take very long.
No, it didn't. I was like, I can't handle this. I'm not built for sitting behind a desk all day. And I started working for a company that did small additions, little kitchen renovations, bathrooms, and I was doing design work. I was estimating. I started project managing. I started doing a lot of the process from beginning to the end. And then 2008 came and things started to shrivel up a little bit.
Yeah, that was a rough time in Michigan.
It was a really hard time here in Michigan. So I went to my boss at the time and like, hey, I really need a bigger piece of the pie, or I need to find something else. And unfortunately, he didn't have anything to give me. And looking back 16, 17 years, whatever this has been now, I totally get his side of the table.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
He needed me to be selling projects and running projects. And I needed more. So I started Cowdin Design Build in 2008. We had our first year. I worked out of the extra bedroom in my house over on the other side of Canton, and grew from there to where we are here in Old Village, Plymouth. And that was in 2008, 2009. And we've done nothing but go forward. And it's super exciting. I get to do what I love. I get to work with super awesome customers and really great staff here. And we just have a great time. So it's really rare to say I'm doing something that I really enjoyed when I was 12 years old.
That's incredible. And that's why I wanted you to come on the show, because I feel like people that have always wanted to do something might be inspired to make a change, make something different, make a pivot or a switch. Especially now, I feel like the doors are just so much more open to trying different things, trying what you like. As you're explaining what you guys do at Cowden Design and Build, what's the heart behind everything?
So I always tell everybody I do it for the love and everything else will come.
Wow.
If you come to the table because it's a job or someone wants you to do this or it's just expected of you, it's just going to be monotonous and you're really not going to put your all into it. But I tell people and they sometimes roll their eyes and look at me like I'm a crazy Looney Tune, but I'm like, I really love what I do. I love making customers happy. I love driving down the street and showing my family and friends, hey, I built that house and we remodeled that house. And oh yeah, that's Bob's kitchen. And we had all those really crazy things we had to do for him to make these things work. And it's super rewarding to have that and know that I've got jobs that I did before I started this company that I can still drive by and be like, hey, those are cool customers and that was a really cool project and it's still there. It's not just some spreadsheet or hey, we made 10% last quarter. We're really making tangible changes in people's lives, and I love that. I love being able to talk to them about, hey, where's your Christmas tree going to go? How does your where are you going to sit for Thanksgiving? And we get to connect with people. We get to connect with families, and it's helped me frame a lot of things in my own personal life too. It's like I get to see how all these different couples interact and get to see healthy relationships and get to see not so healthy relationships. And
I think building can bring out the best or the worst.
Oh yes.
Sure.
Oh yes. We like to call ourselves marriage counselors / designers / builders because it's all there.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's all there. Because I mean it's stressful, right?
Yeah.
I mean you're talking about putting hundreds of thousands of dollars or more into these projects in your biggest investment. And it's like now we're going to rip this apart. We're going to usually kick you out of the house, make you go live in an apartment or a two bedroom condo, and you're watching your house get torn apart. and it's like, I love doing this. And if we do continue to spread that type of aura, it's going to show and the trust is there and the customers are going to love it and the jobs are going to turn out awesome. And we're going to go that extra little step and all the trades and all my employees are going to go that extra little step to make it really nice. So
it really sounds like what you do is really different. Your process sounds really different from other builders and designers. And, we actually built our house, so I do have experience with that. And I loved our builder. Most people I know don't always say those things that they loved the process, but I was one of those crazy people that loved the process. So I'm curious about your process. How does it look different from the way that others might design or build something?
So one of the big things that I think differentiates us is that we put together this, we call it our project roadmap, and it kind of outlines, you can kind of see it in the back behind me on the upper left hand of the screen. It kind of outlines from the initial phone call, what steps are required to take you from inquiring about doing a kitchen or a whole house or potentially a new build to what does the warranty process look like? So we want to walk you through each step. We want to make sure that everyone's kind of grounded in the fact that, hey, I'm looking at step 25, but we're only on step 5. But 25 is going to come because the unknown is what scares most people. Myself included, I take my car to the dealership and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing for the last 3 or 4 days. And then I get a bill, right?
Yes.
It's just, and you fast forward that to a house and there's millions of decisions you get to make. So we step back and we kind of just unwrap the package and in spoon feed it to everybody. So it's like, hey, we're on initial design ideas. Now we're going into, we call it our roundabouts. So we talk about designs, we talk about budget options. A lot of times we feel like we're Chevy Chase and we're stuck in the roundabout going around and saying, hey, look, there's the over budget, there's the over budget, there's the over budget.
Yeah.
And then finally we get the off ramp when we've hit the correct budget. And we try to make it fun because everyone's eyes are way bigger than their pocketbook. Especially you can start putting anything you want into your house.
Right.
We're not production. We don't just say, hey, you've got 4 choices of X, Y, or Z for your faucets. It's let's go and pick something
Whatever
out.
you want.
You found this really cool faucet from Italy. We can get that.
Amazing.
And it's really amazing, but it becomes a whole nother thing. We're doing a job right now where I believe we ordered 8 or 9 full-size cabinet samples in custom colors and custom wood species to get the exact right fit that kind of that hit the vibe for our customers are going for. And they just shipped and delivered and they're stunning. So
incredible.
We do those steps all the way through from the design, going into the touches during production. We're really unique because we want to have 95% of the design selections before we actually enter a build contract so that there's less surprises when we get into construction. Because we all know the budget's really important, as well as timing, as well as the fit and finish. So it's like they have to go together. And I think we finally found the fit that at least our customers are looking for, which is kind of more known than unknown. And we've got a longer design road, but it creates a much smoother build process. So that's in a nutshell. It's a little different, right? I mean, a lot of builders will say, hey, here it is. And, we're just going to go from A to B and it is what it is. And if we run into a snag, we're going to sit down and look at it and try to figure it out together. So
it sounds like your process is really thoughtful, that you're thinking about how people live in their homes. Can you share an example of maybe how you design with real life in mind? I know you mentioned like, where are you going to put the Christmas tree? But I was thinking, I wonder if there's some interesting questions that maybe you ask that aren't normal for the industry.
So a lot of things, we'll sit down, we have an intake questionnaire we utilize. And, some of the questions are you right-handed? Are you left-handed? Are you both right-handed or left-handed? So we know, okay, it makes more sense to have the dishwasher on the right side of the sink or the left side of the sink. Where are your dishes going to get put away? We're going to talk about those kind of things that usually don't get brought up. How many of you usually are working in the house at a given time? Is it one person? Kitchen's the heart of the home. So every job we do has a kitchen. So a lot of the questions revolve around that. So it's, is there one main cook, or is it the whole family that wants to be there? Do we need to have prep stations?
Yes.
So that's kind of, we talk about as far as the functionality. We go into, what kind of cars do you drive? Because a 2-car garage or a 3-car garage isn't the same for you as it is for me, as it is for somebody else.
Fascinating.
And so we're going to talk about those things because it's not one size fits all when you're doing something custom. It's like, hey, I want to be able to fit my electric car or my electric Escalade. I want to be able to fit the kids' bikes, and we need to have space for that. Versus the other side of the world, if I want to be as compact as possible, and it's not a good use of our money to make a giant garage. So we talk about those details on the, kind of more functional side. And then when we go into the design side, we use a lot of Pinterest boards. We use a lot of Instagram type, just sparks. And myself, my designers will listen to what is really trying to be said in a picture, as opposed to just clients will send a picture and say, I love this. Okay, well,
why?
Why do you love this picture? And it's crazy, some of the things we'll find out. That's like, what I really love is I love the use of the vertical backsplash. Okay, well, that's what I would have a million years would have thought this picture was showing.
Exactly.
But it's stuff like that really makes a house a home, and it makes things custom. And I think it sets things apart when you can actually do that and, not just check boxes and move people down this path. It's really making sure that it's intentional. So
I think what I hear you saying is that in order to make a house a home, you're listening, you're understanding, you're asking questions that go deeper than just the surface of, okay, where do you want the kitchen?
Right. Exactly. Oh, you want to have two sinks, so you want to have a
Mhm.
36-inch refrigerator here and another 36-inch freezer there. No, it's way deeper than that, and everyone can't do it. It takes a special team to realize that.
Mm.
And I feel lucky that I found a great team that does do that. So it's
Well,
pretty
I'd
cool.
love to talk a little bit about your team, about that process of building a team. As my podcast is for business owners, I love to be able to share insights and how you maybe picked your team, maybe how that first started, what the process looked like. Do you do personality tests? Anything
Funny
like
you
that?
ask that, because yes, we do. We're very, very firm believers in the DISC personality profile, motivators and drivers, and if that fits our culture of being a client focused, relationship driven type personality, as opposed to just check the box to get it done,
Hmm.
that's a huge starting point. We have meetings internally where we'll talk about, hey, you're a really high myself. I'm a very high influencer. I just like to talk. And it's like, Bill, stop talking and get to the point. Or we'll talk to my production manager, and he's a very high D or direct type personality. It's like, John, you need to chill a little bit because you're scaring everyone around you because you're saying things too bluntly. But yes, we utilize those, and it's really good for internally. We try to kind of put our clients on that same chart of, hey, this client needs a lot more explaining
Mm,
and hand holding, where another client might really just want to have an explanation of this is happening today and this is happening tomorrow, and let's move on to the next one. So again, it's not one size fits all for our
yeah.
delivery, and it's not one size fits all for our employees. And employees are the hardest thing to manage as an employer. As an entrepreneur, it's the
Yeah.
biggest struggle, and to be honest, it's one of the things I've really had the most difficulty with in the whole career of finding the right people that fit kind of what we just talked about, all these things.
Yeah.
The last 15 minutes or so of talking of who we are, if we can find the right people to do that, we're going to
Mhm.
continue to grow and be happy, and customers are going to like us. And as soon as we get the wrong fit, it's painful.
Yeah.
Um, but it goes into a really great onboarding process. It goes into what are the 5 KPIs that this position really requires to have. And if in a resume or an initial half an hour phone call, they don't check those boxes, it's not something that a small company can go ahead and say, oh, bring you on board and we'll spend the next year and train you.
Right.
We need people that have the skills to start, but you have to have the personality to stay.
Mhm.
So that's what we utilize. We utilize that. We do a lot of a lot of screening. We check references, all the things that you're supposed to do. But it really is, can we work with this person, and can
Yeah.
they work with us? And are our clients going to connect? So that's the biggest thing. Even with our trades, it's like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's the tile guy or if it's the mason or if it's the production manager. They're in the client's house. You're working on someone's, like we said, biggest asset. You
Yeah.
you got to have a good fit. So it's the single hardest thing is managing people.
I
So
agree.
as
And
you
I think
probably
as
know,
entrepreneurs, we don't initially start out as having a huge team. So I think it's really wise that you are looking at all these things as you're hiring, as you're growing. But I really loved what you said that like it's the skills, but it's the personality. It's the blend of those things. And that's really thoughtful because when you have a mismatch, it just makes things really, really difficult.
it does. I mean, you talk to someone that's a recruiter and they're like, this person just checks all your boxes. I'm like, yeah, but I spoke to them for 15 minutes and they don't. And it really is, when you're a small business. I mean, we only have 9 people. We have 9 people on staff. We're looking at hiring 2 more actually right now. But so I'm in the middle of this interview process, which is kind of fun that you mention it. But it's just like, who is going to be a good fit for us and who's going to be a long-term fit. So, I mean, I'm happy that I've got several people that are, been with us for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's pretty cool. So.
Yes, I really think looking at longevity of business and the people that you're building the business with, you just don't want to be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, on your
No.
way.
No.
It's the relationships. That's what I found in entrepreneurship. It's all about these relationships and the ones that we build right, not based on what can you do for me, but based on this mutual respect and understanding and moving forward together. And I think that's really incredible. And I'm sure that's why things have gone so well for you.
And we continue to kind of go back and circle to what is really important. And it goes into, we have to be clear. We have to have clarity in who we hire, who we work for, who we contract with, and, just what we offer everybody. Because it's, as an entrepreneur and, to an aspiring entrepreneur out there who's got 1 or 2 people on their payroll right now looking at growing, it's a very expensive mistake to hire the wrong person. Talking from experience, I've hired the wrong person before, not because they're a bad person or a bad fit. They just were a bad connection. It was an improper fit. And it's very, very, very expensive, both financially and mentally. And, you can really quickly sabotage your business if you bring someone who's not a good fit. So.
Super wise words. So as you are focusing on growing, what are you excited about most as you're looking ahead maybe to the next 5-10 years?
I'm excited about spending even more time with my family. The nicest thing about being an entrepreneur is you get to create your own schedule, for better or for worse. You've got your 80-hour weeks, but you also have the times where you can take a week or 2 off, where you can skirt out early on a Thursday afternoon. So those have been really nice, and it's nice to be able to look forward to maybe some more of that in the future. But what I really like is I love watching. So if we're going to talk about the company, it's like I love watching some of my younger staff really start to take accountability and a little bit of initiative for their role, and realizing that, what, I can do this. And I am really, really, really talented, and people are seeing it. And that's kind of cool to watch. It's really nice to watch that there's carpenters who are learning new skills and they're stepping up in their career. And, now they're having families and, being able to do things. And it's because we've worked together as a team, and they get to be a proponent of our success as well, which is huge. So I really love that. I want to stay small. I don't want to get to be a giant multi-million-dollar builder and, building subdivisions all over the place. But I want to grow. I want to grow with intention. I want to grow with integrity. And, I'm looking forward to our 5 and 7-year plan, where I can potentially be a little bit less involved in the day-to-days and get to do the fun stuff, where I get to go to the client meet and greets, and I get to go do the celebration party where we're bringing wine and cheese. But the dumpster got delivered at the wrong time. I don't want to have those phone calls. Those are no fun.
Yeah, that's the grind though. And we all have to put in the work. As we're kind of wrapping up here, what is one thing that you hope people take away from our chat today?
It's a great question. I would say that, I think we touched base on it a couple times, but it's, grow with intent, hire slow, fire fast. Really define who you are as a person to develop who you want to be as a company, and then market that not just to your clients, but to your staff, to potentially people that you want to collaborate and work with. Make sure everyone is rowing the same direction. And it's just take your time, make intentional moves. Because it's way too easy just to hire or fire because of an emotional movement.
Mm.
Or take on a project that is not a good fit for you that you're going to fail at.
Yeah.
I'll admit we've done that ourselves. We've taken projects we shouldn't have because they look really great, or we needed a little bit of cash flow, and we're like, hey, we're going to take this because we can do it, but it was emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And so think about that. Try to look forward as far as you can possibly look forward. Always have a 5-year plan. It's going to change. It's always going to change. But have that 5-year plan you can reference and take a look at, what are my benchmarks today? Am I achieving them? Take a look at what your bigger picture is and break that down to quarters and have quarterly projects that you self want to achieve. It's like, hey, this quarter, I would like to get my, you name it, in order. The most recent one for me was I wanted to create a written onboarding document for our new production, or our new project manager that we're going to be onboarding shortly. And I wanted to write down everything I'm doing so that I don't have to do it myself next time.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's been my project of, okay, here are the steps we go through. And now I can give that to one of my teammates and they can now help or even run it in the future. So,
Yeah.
because you
Make
can't
it
recreate yourself.
duplicatable.
You can't recreate yourself until you create a process. So that would be something that I would tell people to do too, is if you're really good at what you do, write it down, document it, train someone else so they can go ahead and help you be successful.
I love that advice. Thanks so much for chatting with us today, Bill. How can people get connected with you? What is a good way if they were looking to hire you or want to follow you guys on socials? What's a good way to get connected?
So you can check us out on our Facebook page, which is Cowdin Design Build. You can go to our website, which is cowdindesignbuild.com. You can give us a call here at our office. So that's always an option. But definitely check our website out. It's the best way to get in touch with us. We have Instagram, we have Pinterest, but our Facebook and our website are really awesome. And you get a really good picture of what we can do there. And then you can email or call us and we'll happily answer any questions. Even if it's just hey, I've got this question and this person's doing that, or this person's doing this. Can you give me a second opinion? Be happy to.
That's incredible. Thanks so much for your time, Bill. I've really enjoyed our conversation.